They call him Seatin, the man of legends.
Hey guys, what is up? It is Seatin here. Hello and welcome to the guide for Unicornalia, the new unicorn-themed promotional event in Rift. And judging by the fact that it's a promotional event, it's all about getting you to try and spend your cash money swag on the game. So, that's kinda, you know what it's all about, it's about bleeding you out. So essentially, there are quests. There are 2 daily quests and 1 quest that you complete one time. And they're going to be in either Sanctum or Meridian, depending on your faction. Now, the 2 daily quests are fairly straightforward. You have one to use a sparkle wand on an enemy player in a warfront or in the open world. So basically, you see somebody that's of the enemy faction and they're hostile, you can use the sparkle wand on them. Bam, you've done that daily. That one's out the bag. So the second daily quest is Returning Hope, which is to collect a stolen alicorn from a rare instant adventure. So a rare instant adventure is basically an instant adventure where you fight a boss, close a rift, defend a wardstone. You know, the kind of instant adventure you get like a little bonus chest or a extra reward from currency wise. So yeah, those are the 2 daily ones. They're fairly straightforward and easy, and they reward 15 sparkle essences each. Now you have one other quest, which is known as Friend of Rhydode. Now for this quest you need to defeat a boss called Esmodimus, and this boss is the final boss that spawns in the kind of, well, the new event that comes with this world event, which is Hooves and Horns Zone event, which is in Moonshade Highlands, and involves basically closing a few rifts, freeing a few unicorns from trapped cages, and then the boss spawns. However, at the time of this video, which is very shortly after sort of the patch has launched, that event is broken. Like, the boss doesn't have any scaling, it doesn't have any immunity, and can be taken down in a couple of hits by a level 60. So at the moment there are just hundreds and hundreds of people camping this event, because the event itself also has a chance to drop one of these fucking lovely, let me get them up, these lovely limited edition sparkle troves. So there are hundreds and hundreds of people camping these events. So at the moment, it's not worth doing. Like, you just cannot, you physically cannot do this, because literally about 10 to 15 seconds after the boss spawns, he is dead. So unless you're like right on the fire rift where he spawns, that's a bit of a pro tip, guys. The boss seems to always spawn on either a fire rift or a fire foothold, because it is a fire boss. So, you know, bit of a pro tip there. But literally everybody is camping the fire rifts, they're camping the fire footholds, and as soon as the boss spawns, if you don't get lucky enough to be on the rift next to it, then you can't kill it, and you have to wait for another event, and these events are very infrequent as well. So this is very infuriating at the moment. So I suggest waiting for a hotfix to come through that actually adds some sort of reduction or scaling to Esmodimus, because at the moment it's just a pure grief fest. This is not good at all. So stay away from that for a while. But when you do, when you've completed all 3 of these lovely quests, you get awarded an achievement, Rainbow in the Dark, which gives you a limited edition sparkle trove. Now you can do this on every character that's above the level of 35, so basically you can keep on doing these dailies and this quest on every character, and then you can get the treasure trove on that character and send it over to your main character, as the troves are bind to account. The troves contain an absolute shit ton of cool stuff. They contain Heart of the Planebreaker, which are super desired and are used to upgrade tier 2 items. Not the best in slot items though, which is you know, because it's not pay to win or anything like that. And then you have Soothing Hand. You basically have all of the tier 2 trinkets available, a load of other stuff like Warfront charges, dungeon charges. You have the Onyx Unicorn, which looks fucking terrible. It's essentially like the mount that you get from River of Souls, but guess what? Look, have a look at these 2 guys. So it's basically like the mount you get with River of Souls, but black, and it doesn't have any armor on, and the kind of horn sparkles purpley a bit, but it looks generally very crappy. So I don't really know who would want this mount, because it looks terrible, and I think just in general the unicorn mounts are just a sellout, man. It's terrible. These models have existed in game for ages. People already have unicorn mounts, they just don't realize it. Pretty much all of the horses, apart from the very basic starter ones, have a horn on anyway, so I thought it was a bit of a cheap move just to essentially kind of take off the armor and add a sparkle and call them fucking unicorn mounts. To finally recap the real benefits of actually doing this world event. Now, the mounts themselves, they're pretty ugly and pointless, and I wouldn't suggest it's worth the time farming them at all. Like, the white one is no better. Let's just have a quick look at that. The Opal Unicorn, look, it's a dull white horse, doesn't even glisten or sparkle. I believe there's some sort of horn VFX, but it isn't showing here. But generally, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look, there's nothing unique about it. So I don't personally see any incentive with the mounts for anyone. I mean, if you want a fucking horse with a horn on, you can go and do River of Souls Conquer achievement. That is very, very easy. Or you can buy one of the 150 plat silverwood mounts that you can purchase from the Argent Glade by the river around this area. So that's my easy guide to actually getting a horse with a horn on. But the one thing that is pretty cute is this this fucking model. Actually, that's pretty adorable, and that also is a pet called Sparkles, which I have slightly fallen in love with. It's pretty. Let me just get it out here. I was lucky enough to get it in one of my first troves, because I brought a couple of troves just to see what it's like. It's pretty adorable, ladies and gentlemen. Have a look at that. Look, it's that is actually a unique and new model, so I was quite impressed to see that in the game, actually. But the mounts themselves, cool. I mean, at least try a bit there. So, in all honesty, right, the only good thing about this event is trying to get that achievement done fast as possible on any one character, and then sending that limited edition trove over to your main character. Then you have a chance at some really decent loot. I mean, Heart of the Planebreakers are very high in demand. The trinkets are very good, and also the marks that you can get from it. You can get some Myrmidon's marks, and also a very small amount of Fragment of the Ward, not to mention some big Transcendent experience, and I believe token vials as well. So that's what I suggest doing, guys. I suggest once they get the zone event fixed, quickly do all the quests on your characters, just send the troves to your main, and you are pretty much sorted. One thing that you can do if you do run out of characters is, if they eventually fix the zone event, which I hope they do, is completing the zone event, I believe, gives you around a 10 to 20% chance to also get a trove. So it may be a good idea to go onto the Rift Zone Events website. I'll put a link to that website in the description of this video. This way you can easily track whenever a zone event is going on in Moonshade Highlands, and just spam refresh the page. You can keep an eye on whenever that zone event is up, and then just, you know, quickly tag the boss and get a chance to get an additional trove. So ladies and gentlemen, I believe that is it for the guide. I hope you've learned a thing or two about Unicornalia. In all honesty, it's one of the poorer world events in Rift, but you know, free troves, I am certainly not complaining. Plus the loot in the mid is pretty fucking awesome as well, without being best in slot. You know, I kind of it kind of is really good gear, but I can kind of see it's still not paid to win, because it's not the best in slot gear, and to get that gear you do have to try the super hard rage, which is Malforge and all that. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.